Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. As you can tell, it's a very different surroundings. We are in a different surroundings. We have a fantastic neon sign. We have a studio, if we can call this a studio. Do you want to explain where we are, mate?
My mum's office.
Not really.
No, it's not. It's a side room. For some reason, me and Finn have been saying for the last year and a half, we want to take the podcast up a level. We feel like we reached a bit of a peak when it came to what we were doing. Where it was, we were talking on Zoom, we were having a chat, and for our clients and people that know us, they probably they enjoyed, and we've got a good amount of people that listen. But to get more people in, we want to have different content where we do let's say mini segments. We have 10, 15-minute videos. We have some reels created. We wanted to kind of step the podcast up. So we've took a few kind of different ways of going about stuff. We've set ourselves up with a nice studio in the sense of obviously what we've got. This has pretty much been a whole afternoon. It's currently 9 p.m. and we got here at 3. So 6 hours.
And we're only just recording.
And we're only just recording our first bit. But we've pretty much got a reel out of this. We've got some photos. We're going to have a YouTube video that's probably before this, actually.
Speaking of that,
yeah,
we have got Reece's iPad here.
Do you want to explain why we're using the iPad?
So yeah, Reece's iPad's propped up against my laptop, and we're using. It's the reason that we're filming so late as well is we've been trying to sort out the audio for ages, but we think we've got it working now. Well, we fucking better do. I mean, we're supposed to not swear in this one.
Yeah, we're not supposed to swear, but yeah,
leave that one out. Leave that out. So basically, we're using Reece's iPad because we were going to buy. So in my head, I wanted to buy. I don't know if anybody's seen them, but I've seen it in a couple of different cafes when I've been traveling and stuff. Because I'm just such a traveller. I've seen
tourist.
It's like a counter, like a flipboard chart with different social media icons. So you go into a cafe and it's got on the wall Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and then you've got a flip chart, so you can flip the numbers over for how many followers you've got. And I was like, oh, we should get one of those. And then we looked, and for one, not even for 4 or 5 in a row, because we'd have got we'd have got Spotify, maybe Apple Podcasts, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
So 5.
We'd have got 4 or 5.
So we were thinking maybe what?
A few hundred quid, for 5.
Yeah,
tough. It's 400 quid for one. And even then, it was it wasn't the kind that I was envisioning.
They were pretty average.
Yeah, they were
amazing. If they were really good and they were £400, we might be okay, maybe get one. Maybe
they were,
maybe, but they really weren't. So we've got the iPad propped up. It's got 55% battery, so hopefully it's lasted the whole day so far.
So on here we've got
0 subscribers.
Well, we've got 0 subscribers because this is on a new channel. So obviously before we were uploading it on my channel, now we're uploading it on a new channel, the Once You're In channel. We're going to have a new logo as well, so you'll see that now.
YouTube banner.
We have a new YouTube banner as well. We have a TikTok page.
Yeah, Instagram story.
Instagram hashtag level up. Yeah. And we've got our Spotify ratings, which if you're a fantastic listener of the podcast, you'll know that I'm obsessed with the Spotify ratings.
Finn loves it.
I do love them. So I check that every other podcast as well. So we're on 268. And we were saying we need to put 5-star ratings because we're on 4.9. We went up to 5 and we've gone back to 4.9. So somebody, one of you lot is, I was going to say, but one of you, I was going to say, put the ratings down. So please don't put the ratings down. Please do a 5. If you're not going to give us a 5, don't give us a rating. Until you like it enough for it to be a 5. If you will like it.
If you don't, just don't rate us.
Yeah.
Just move on. We don't need you.
Nah, just still listen though. Yeah. Right.
Just rate us.
I thought what we should do with being the first one is we should explain everything that we've bought and explain the setup.
Okay, cool. So, what have we not used? So we've not used Sinai's mugs.
No, let's start from what we've used and then we'll finish off with
Okay, cool. We'll go through the table. Amazon.
Bit too high.
We wanted to saw it down. We ended up getting these chairs, which are a bit bigger, so we can sit a little bit higher.
The chairs we had were too low, weren't they?
Yeah, that's it. On the table, the iPad, I bought this in Canada. It was a few £100 cheaper with how tax and stuff works. I also got a pencil that I thought I would finally use to draw up the number, but I didn't bring it. So
I used my finger. That's my
yeah, Finn's handwriting's probably going to be better than mine. So the iPad, that was already there. Finn's Mac, that's pretty self-explanatory. We've got 2 plants.
No, we actually have got 4 plants.
Yeah, these came in a pack of 4, and they were about 25 quid. They're artificial because there's 0 chance that me and Finn would be able to keep some plants alive. So
what?
There we are.
I don't think it'll.
I'm not a fan. Get them out. Get them gone. And then other than that, we've got 2 stands, nothing fancy, and then a blue
Yeti Nano.
Yeti?
This one's mine already. You probably noticed that basically I forgot the little adapter, so that's why it's wrapped on with this. The 2 stands, the 2 pop mics, the chairs we've luckily stolen. These big boards just looks like a wall.
They are so expensive.
But it's like they're like big office dividers, and they were like £150 each, and we were like, that's just stupid. They look quite big. They are actually quite big.
Yeah,
but
they're silly for
I
how.
wouldn't have. Yeah, I thought they'd been like 50 quid each.
Yeah.
The big boy, the main icon of the whole podcast that makes the whole setup.
Time.
Yeah, that was like
more expensive than it. We could have got cheaper alternatives, but we actually said this on the YouTube video. Finn liked the design, how it looked, and when we were all going to order one, we had a few in the basket, didn't we? And we were like, yeah, we'll get this one. And Finn kept going on to this one. He'd be like, I do really like this.
It is good.
And to be fair, it's a good decision. I actually do like it. And then above, out of shot, we've pretty much got 4 photos of us. We've got Jay Cutler. I'm describing them like you can see. Have a look on
that's it.
On my page and likewise on Finn's page. And if you're new, ReeceFit, Finn Kelly. We probably should have said that at the start.
Yeah, Finn Kelly on the scorecard. We'll go into that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But either way, we've got 4 photos, canvas photos, just to make a little bit more of like not an atmosphere, but more of like an environment. And then we've also discarded a blue lava lamp. We thought we'd get a matching lava lamp to suit the sign, but it's too tall.
I reckon we'll get it. It will use it at some
We'll
point.
get a smaller one. And then behind the actual cameras, we've got 2 cameras. We've got 2 Canon G7Xs.
Both of our G7X Mark IIs.
Yeah. And then we've got the Mark IIs. Not the Mark IIIs because they're not the best. The Mark 1s, Mark IIs. And then we've got 3 lights set up in this room.
A ring light, and then a big light at the back.
So yeah, if you want to get more sort of like behind the scenes, like I said, there's going to be a reel and a YouTube video that will kind of go through that. So pretty much what we're going to do on this is we're going to do a bit of a pilot. Like, even though we've already done 83,
this is the 84th
episode, I thought we'd kind of go back to square one. So we're going to have a bit of a chat, nothing too long, just a bit of a chat regarding where we are, who we are, in case you knew, and if you got to this part, or likewise, if you just thought, let's go through memory lane. So if you want to give a small description, Finn Kelly, 25 years old. I mean,
nearly 26.
Yeah, nearly 26.
So for people that don't know, and again, sorry to people that do know, and I feel like
people will probably listen to this and actually...
Yeah. The majority of people listening will probably already know who we are just from listening to it already.
I mean, everyone knows who I am.
Yeah, Reece's famous.
Instagram influencer.
I thought this was my part.
Yeah, carry on then.
Okay. My name is Finn Kelly. Finn Alexander Kelly. My middle name is Alexander. I was born in Halifax. I was born in Halifax Hospital on Saturday morning, the 17th of May, 1997.
Do you know what time?
It was in the morning.
I was 16 minutes past 9.
Oh, yeah. I can ask my mum. Should I ring her live on the pod?
Live on the pod. Right, carry on.
I don't know what time I was born, but yeah, I was born in Halifax. I grew up playing football. Always played at like a decent level. Thought wanted to go into football, and then as I got older, kind of realised that wasn't going to happen. Or maybe it still will. Who knows? The cold dream's not over. Maybe Gareth will be watching replay soon if I play 5-a-side. Then I went to uni. So I did sport at college. I did sport and science. Then I went to uni, to Loughborough Uni, to do sports science with management. So I had like a side course, I guess, if you can class it as that. I can't remember what it was called. I majored in sports science and minored in like business management, something like that. As you can tell by how I'm talking, it was riveting. Yeah, it was fantastic. In my second year, I started PTing. So basically, I went to uni not for the uni lifestyle. I kind of went just to get a degree because I thought that's what I needed to do. And in hindsight, I didn't need to do that. But yeah, I basically went to uni. Second year, I was like, this is a bit naff. So I'm going to do a PT course because I enjoy training. I properly got into training from 18, 19. So I had a year out. That's when I got into training. And then when I went to uni, that's when I really started taking it seriously because that's when I stopped playing football. Second year, doing a PT course, started working at a Pure Gym, built up clientele at Pure Gym alongside building up my own online coaching business as well. This is when me and Reece met. So Reece trained at Pure Gym and I worked at Pure Gym. And people will have probably heard the story, but Reece was as he is, he's in decent shape. He was in decent shape then, but he was decent shape. I looked at your jumper, I thought sheep. I'm a decent sheep. That's a decent shape. He looks like a sheep in that jumper. He was in decent shape, but he was walking around like a twat. Swore again. Sorry, guys. Beep. He's walking around like a beep. And he was like walking around like he had fake lats, like, you know, invisible lat syndrome. Invisible lat syndrome. So I basically just took the piss out of him. Is piss a swear word?
Probably.
Took the wee out of it.
Yeah, I took the wee out. It's a bit odd. Yeah, it sounds a bit strange.
Sounds a bit like sexual.
Yeah. I took the mick out.
Sexual swear.
Yeah, the sexual is not swear.
Can't say anything on these podcasts, mate. We're trying to get the algorithm good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I took the wee out of him. And he saw me. I was with a client, and I was basically just taking the mess out of him.
And I called him out.
And he called me out like in like a jokey way.
No, it was quite. We were both leaving at the same time.
Yeah.
So and I just like I clocked it. But I wasn't going to go up to him and say, "Yo, bro, what are you doing?" But he walked by, like we were walking out together, and I think like I held the door open for you, or you held the door open for me, and I just went, "Yeah, man, like 20 minutes ago, were you impersonating me?"
Yeah,
and I think was like,
no, honestly, mate, I promise. I probably like I was gonna say anyway. I was like, oh, by the way, I wasn't like being like a twat.
Yeah.
I swear a lot.
You do, don't you?
I wasn't being a rude person. I was just like having a laugh because the thing is, I think you were like looking over as well, weren't you? So it was like, it wasn't like I was doing it and then being like, oh no, like.
No, I made it obvious. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Then basically afterwards we just had a chat and we were like, oh yeah, we should train together at some point. And then we did. But yeah, anyway, you can go into that if you want on your journey.
So that's pretty good explanation.
But then we had COVID.
Yeah, and then we went through lockdown training. So basically, I'll carry on from that point, but I'll start from pretty similar, to be fair. Nothing too special. I went to uni, similar sort of experience. First year was at Loughborough. That's the reason why I was training at Pure. I did sports coaching, wasn't that good. I thought it was pretty naff. So I went to Leeds. I did S&C, so strength and conditioning. I enjoyed that, actually. I didn't think that was too bad. But in the process of like me and Finn getting a few sessions, we trained together for like 6 months. I'd already trained for like 7, 8 years. No, 7 years probably. I started training when I was 13. And Finn had probably started a little bit later. So even though
I properly when I was like 18.
Yeah, so we've got a good amount of training experience. And then to be fair, like it's quite a good how we've got ourselves now is like we almost learned the foundations on our own, but we almost we leveled up, we took it to the next level together. Leveled up now. But
it's pretty much massive level up.
That's huge level up. But yeah, so pretty much like I said, we like bumped into each other in the gym. We were both like, oh, you seem to train well. We got some sessions in. We trained for like 4, 5, 6 months together. To be fair, like we annoyed each other because
he gave me tonsillitis.
Yeah, we annoyed each other because we both had our own like set ways, and we're both very like, I'm not gonna say arrogant, but we're both very stuck in our own ways.
I said before, like you were quite not like immature, but you've grown up a lot since.
Oh yeah,
I think I was a good like, but I am a year and a bit older than you.
And I feel like it was big times, like the first like between like ages 19 and like 21.
Yeah, you grow up a lot.
You grow up massively.
Change loads.
So I was always a little bit probably more. Not emotional. I wasn't emotional, but I was more like reactive towards like when I'm training, like that's my happy time. And if like Finn was to do something, I'd be like more sensitive to it. And we ended up just annoying each other. So, and also we didn't know what fatigue was. Took 5 to 10 assisted reps on everything within the first week. No, genuinely, we did. Our hack squat session was not first exercise hack.
Go on.
And it would literally be, we'd work up to a 0 rep max. And then we'd have like 5, 6 assisted reps, and that would be
you know the exercise that I remember the most for taking force reps on. We've never really spoken about
Beach curl.
Although that was good.
Yeah. No, what?
Pull down. We did a lat pull down, like an overhand grip. We weren't about straps at that point either, so like our grip must have been just going like straight away. Yeah. But I just remember like being there, and I was like, I'm not doing any of this. Like I remember just thinking, like towards the end, I was like, oh, this is like awful. Like I was battered, but we just kept going, and like it was like neither of us would give in. Ever. Yeah. Like you'd be like, yeah, again. Like we'd just keep going and keep going and then like if you'd done that, it was like, oh well, no, I've got to beat what he's just got, and vice versa. Like so, yeah, the hack, like we've got loads of old posts of the hack. If you want to scroll back like 4 or 5 years,
honestly, it's shocking. So that was pretty much we just buried ourselves, and like I think it was quite a good match in the sense of when we first started training because we both trained well. And then we also had probably our own egos and arrogance at a young age that we were like, oh, I'm not getting outdone intensity-wise. But we did train like absolute idiots together. So that was like the first part of our training. And then because I went to Leeds, like I said, I went to Leeds for second year. Like we still kept in contact like occasionally. Like we'd drop each other a message. Like we weren't like close mates. But we were just like, oh, we train once if I'm home for Christmas. I think we got like a session or 2 in. And then literally within the first 3 months of 2020, we went into lockdown. And Finn basically was just he was desperate. He had no equipment. He was either that or he was doing blindfold extensions.
Yeah, to be fair, pretty good.
Kettlebell drop set curls and stuff like that. Not kettlebell, kettle.
Kettlebell.
So that post comes around that's going to come up soon in your highlight reel.
Post it again, hopefully get another like.
Yeah.
You've not liked it yet, get on it.
So basically Finn dropped me a message and he was like, "Hey mate,
How are you doing?
how you doing? Going into lockdown. What are you doing for training?" Knowing full well that basically my mum had told me to get some kit, and because it's going to get sold out.
His mum bought his kit.
No, I bought most of it. I think she got maybe the bar. Yeah. So pretty much I got enough kit. I think I say enough kit. We had an adjustable bench, we had a barbell, we had some adjustable dumbbells that you get for like a 10-year-old.
That was it at the start.
Yeah, I think that was.
We had a belt because we did belt squats.
Yes, we had a belt, and literally we were like, okay, cool, let's program it, see what we can do. And
we spent like hours on FaceTime, didn't we? We not spoke for like probably, like you say, like properly anyway for what, maybe a couple of years?
Well, it wasn't a couple of years,
a year and a bit.
Yeah, a year, I'd say. Yeah, I think it was about a year. So it'd been a good amount of time, and we like planned out our entire training, and then we had a room to pretty much set it up in the sense of like it was tiny. We're talking like it was half the size of this room that we're in now, and this room's not that big. And so we had a very, very small space between us. And for like the whole summer, Finn was also prepping throughout this as well. Luckily, it wasn't like
I was in the trench.
Yeah, he wasn't in the trenches fully. Like we came out.
I was in the trench. I was
in trenches from day one.
Yeah, it's hard.
So
as soon as you hit that deficit, it's hard, mate.
Yeah, and I remember like periods of time like we were training together, and that was pretty much when I'm not going to say we bonded, but we genuinely pretty much
bonded over taking the piss out of Hubert.
Yeah,
taking the wee out of him. So.
Yeah, we trained with a guy called Hubert for the first month, but no, we did in a sense. Like, because I remember thinking to myself, like, are we going to train when we get back into the gyms? Like,
I think that was like never a question once we'd properly got.
Yeah,
because we got on a lot more, I think.
Yeah, and I think it kind of forced us to, because we were like, we weren't on our phones. You got no service, which actually was really nice. Like not having service on your phone. We just used to go in, put some loud music on, and it was just compound movements, and we just trained really, like I say really hard, but it was really hard for what we were.
It's hard training because of the demand of the equipment available, the exercise selection available. Like every exercise is a hard exercise when it's just a barbell.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's demanding in it compared to doing it on a cable or a Smith or whatever it may be.
And then, like I said, that was for pretty much the entirety of 2020, so 3 years ago at this point, which feels a long time, but then also doesn't feel that long. Like 3 years is 3 years. And then this was, like I said, Finn was also prepping. So this was when Finn went into his prep. Do you want to give an explanation for why you weren't in condition? Didn't stick to plan? Was off. Finn finished third in the UK, to be fair to one absolute alien who won. And the guy second clearly got robbed. He should have saw the scorecards, because I think he said afterwards, he was like, I should have saw the scorecards. Bro, you were awful compared to the guy who finished first.
People know, obviously not everybody, but David obviously won. David was a joke. And then Danny Ashton came second, and he deserves to come second. Yeah, definitely.
Say that Sam put up
it's photos. Yeah, he could do. Yeah,
and some extra money. Put up some photos.
Yeah, Danny was good. He was very good actually, but yeah, he definitely was second. Yeah, and I was the best of the worst. What was that? The best of the rest?
Yeah, but you got told afterwards that you shouldn't have even placed.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have placed. I didn't get told I shouldn't have placed. I got told that someone else should have placed,
and that would have resulted in you not playing.
That would have been me out of the top three. So I was like, oh really?
Yeah. Okay, that sounds so. That was pretty much your prep in the sense, and obviously it got cut short because of COVID, and it kept getting pushed back. So you were prepping for like what 30 plus weeks?
It ended up being like 40 weeks nearly, I think,
for one show, which is like I didn't really understand that. I'm not gonna say the damage of that, but like when you go through a prep yourself, like I did the following year, and you only do one show, and it's like for 40 weeks. I'm not gonna say it's not worth it, but it's like
it's just a shame.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It was still great, and it was still a lot of experience. I've still got so much from it.
Yeah,
like personally and from a business and so on and so forth. But yeah, like thinking now, it's like, God, that's a shame. Like, they've won the show out of all that. Like, I'm looking forward to competing this year just so I get more time to compete and enjoy it. And obviously, nobody could come to the shows. Like, you only had one person in the crowd. So obviously, my girlfriend Shannon was there. Shout out Shannon, I know you're listening. She doesn't listen. But obviously, like, my parents couldn't go, my sisters couldn't go. So it was like, it's a bit of a genre. Like, no, my mates could go, Reece couldn't go. So it was like,
I watched the live stream where Finn looked amazing, so vascular on the live stream.
Live stream just didn't do me justice. I was on it. I was peak
in person
perfectly. 10 minutes pre-stage. I was on perfectly, and I just don't know what happened in the last 10 minutes. 10 minutes completely lost my perfect peak. No, in all seriousness about that, like I was in good condition. I wasn't big enough. Simple as that. Like if it was me now, I'd have come second. I still want to beat David. He's no absolute joke. But yeah, like if
David wasn't a junior, he would have won the whole thing. He would have won the
Yeah, David wasn't allowed to go into the overall because he wasn't a junior. But yeah, I think he would have won the whole thing, to be honest. He was, just mental. But yeah, like looking back at that, like obviously I've learned so much from it just in terms of like how to manage a prep. We've learned so much from coaching clients through a prep as well. But yeah, like this year for me, obviously I know I'm kind of jumping in May, but
Hey mate, speak about the next year. Come on, we'll go through that in a short while.
okay,
Let's park it. So that was Finn's prep. Ended there.
Didn't really.
We then pretty much went into another lockdown straight away afterwards. We trained out of a guy called Shahid's gym, like a private training facility, is what we almost went for when it comes to training, and that was pretty decent. Like we're there for a month, and then we had like another month in the gym, and then we were back straight into another lockdown, which was fantastic. And I was in the process at this point of like finishing up uni. I pretty much like a quite nice transition from finishing up at uni and then also coaching, because my coaching business was like picking up into the second year, and by the third year I was pretty much like full time when it came to coaching, and I just turned up and like assessed my assignments off when needed, and then literally I had like a pretty busy 4 or 5 months of 2021. It was literally a case of finishing my dissertation. I had a week, and then I started prep, and I kind of like set my sights. I was still a junior of last year. When it came to kind of, let's say, stepping on stage. But I knew Finn competed in 2020, and I was like, right, cool, I'm going to compete 2021. I had my sights set there. So PCA first time show, did the Arnold's amateur, and then did the PCA finals. 1 win, 1 overall, 2 seconds, robbed in both. I really didn't. But that was my prep. I'm a men's physique guy, in case anyone doesn't know. And then pretty much from then, I was going to say about me. I'm currently 6 weeks into prep. Finn starts prep in
You're a lot closer than me.
Yeah. And then since then, it's actually been a case where like, it's been like 70 weeks since, and I feel like since I stepped off stage, like it's been like really, really productive in the sense of business. I mean, a far different position, obviously, from like a bodybuilding standpoint. That I've had the last time I competed and the first time I competed was just seeing how kind of I was from just getting my feet wet. And I knew that I was going to be okay, but then I was like, right, I need to be better. And
I took your shoes off because you got your feet wet.
Yeah, I got my feet wet, therefore socks. I don't think.
I got shoes on.
Socks on, so.
I got socks on as well, but they're in the shoes.
Yeah, see, I've actually not got the shoes. But yeah, so the last like 70 weeks have been spent just kind of improving. I knew that, let's say, the goals was always going to be an IFBB Pro card. To be fair, as everyone says it is nowadays, which I do think is a bit my dream. Yeah, it's my dream. I wake up every day and I'm just so motivated by it. No, in all seriousness, that's just like an achievement of the amount of work I've put in. I've trained for 11 years, and I take it, I'd say, pretty seriously. So therefore, it's like, right, well, I probably will get it eventually. And the last 70 weeks have been kind of working towards setting myself up for the best shot. And right now I am 5.5 weeks into prep, 9.5 weeks out from a warm-up show, but 10.5 weeks out from the main qualifier, and then like 12.5 weeks out from the Poland Pro qualifier, which will be quite exciting. So yeah, exciting times ahead. You'll probably see me get progressively leaner and less happy as we get deeper into this.
Do you reckon you're able to keep up with the podcast?
I'd like to. Yeah, I can't imagine them. I think, especially considering it's in person and we can kind of take it all, like, I think it'll be a good, like, time capsule. And to be fair, the last time that we did when I prepped, I only really had the period of, like, the last 2 or 3 weeks, like, off from the podcast. And that was more so when, like, I had a show that weekend. It was in, like, a peak week, and my training was a bit all over the place in the sense of you have some days you train, some days you're not, in the sense of kind of dropping off fatigue and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, the podcast will keep it a weekly, I'd say, maybe up until like the last week, and it's a peak week. And if I'm flying out, for example, but we could, if you're coming to Poland, we could do once you're in at the Airbnb in Poland. While
it won't be like this though.
Yeah, it won't be as good as this, unfortunately.
But we can set it up. We could take all the stuff. We can take all the stuff.
Take the stuff. Yeah, take that. Take everything.
Take the neon sign.
So yeah, that's pretty much the plan of action for this year in the sense of what I'm going for. Finn's obviously had a longer amount of time off stage, just natural bodybuilding summed up. You have to take longer out. You just can't make him.
I've made no progress as well. I have. I've made 1.5 pounds worth of progress.
Is that mate? Are you sure you're allowed to make that at this point?
Yeah, you get 0.5 per year forever.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Okay.
And then until you reach your natural potential.
But you can't reach your potential.
Your natural. You can't reach your potential.
Because I'm going to reach my potential because I'm enhanced. You're not.
No, never.
Okay.
In all aspects of life.
In all aspects. So, how many weeks out are you now? 3.5 weeks out from starting prep?
3.5 weeks out. Yeah. So I start prep on the 26th of March, and the date is the 2nd of March. So 24 days. Just over 3 weeks, 3 days. And I go on holiday in like 2 weeks. So I kind of start prep when I go on holiday, which sounds stupid, but
I had the same.
I always lose weight when I go on holiday. So I'll come back a little bit lighter, I would imagine anyway. So it's almost like I'm kind of starting prep from there, really. Obviously my food's going to be like, it's not like, oh, I'm starting prep, so I'm going on holiday. I've got to be absolutely nailing my food. Like I'm going to an all-inclusive hotel. I'm not going to be like nailing my food exactly.
He's going to be drinking every single.
Every drink, yeah.
Early hour, not plan meal.
Free drinks, things. It's not free drinks, is it? Because you paid for them, but the drinks as well, like all inclusive, are always horrible. No, like it batters your throat.
Egypt.
I remember when me and Shannon went to Egypt. I told you, I think of that the first day. We're like, oh, it was like midday.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have like a gin and lemonade. And we had two, and we were like smashed. And because it was so hot, we were dehydrated. We'd been traveling. Like it was not a good decision. I think that was like the only drink we had the whole holiday. Because after that, we were dizzy. We didn't feel good. And we were like, what are we doing? So we didn't do that for the rest of the holiday. But yeah, I go on holiday, and then I'll be starting prep on the 26th, which gives me plenty of time. I won't go into all my shows really, but yeah, basically I'll be doing like a qualifier for each of the natural federations that I want to do. So it'll be MBF, WMBF, UKD FBA, and then, well, WMBF don't have a qualifier, sorry, but then I should be doing hopefully the finals of the UKD FBA and the BMBF. If I don't do the finals, I'm going to stop. Like if I don't qualify for finals, then what am I
But is that bodybuilding done?
Well, mate,
Retiring.
it matters. What you got?
Coach.
Yeah.
You don't go train.
Yeah,
I just give up.
yeah, just give up.
Bid says it here. That's what we can have as a part of it, a reel. We can have like
Gives up body.
Finn gives up bodybuilding, or Finn proposes to give up bodybuilding if
If he does qualify.
dot.
But no, like the WMBF, obviously you go straight to the finals anyway because they don't have any qualifiers at the minute. That's the last show as well, depending on if I end up doing anything else after that.
What world?
Worlds.
You're gonna qualify for world?
Yeah, I'm going to qualify for Worlds. Probably going to win Worlds, to be fair.
That's the goal.
I reckon I'll probably take Adam Powell's title, I think.
Natural. Also, Haddy Trooper.
Helmut's natural Haddy, yeah. Natural Haddy.
So yeah, that's pretty much.
A bit like Haddy, to be fair, though.
So yeah, that's pretty much our wrap-ups of, let's say, where we're at now. I mean, we could probably get into far more when it comes to maybe like the podcast and how we set that up. I mean, that was during lockdown. And in a sense, like, I feel like what me and Finn have always done is just kind of set standards upon what we do and just look to improve. And this is the reason why
This has taken too long.
Yeah, this has taken too long. Like,
Apologies.
Yeah, we wish we could have done this time ago, and we probably could have.
We don't wish, yeah, we should.
Yeah, we should have. But from now on, it'll be set up here. And I think it'll be a case of, we said Monday to Friday, or Monday and Friday podcast episodes, but we're going to sprinkle in, like, we've got about 100 video ideas of like 10, 15-minute videos that we're going to have as like,
a lot of them will be just clips from the podcast.
Yeah.
But we do still want to upload the full podcast because I like that format.
Yeah.
So we'll still upload the full podcasts, and then there'll be separate content, like say 10, 15-minute video.
bite size, you have a meal, you want to put it on and
covering different topics and stuff. But then there'll also be like bits from each podcast that we can create content like that with anyway. But yeah, it's obviously going to be on Spotify as it already is. And
as we can see.
yeah, it's on. Make sure you give us some more. It'll be on Apple Podcasts as always, and obviously on YouTube. And if there's any other platforms that you want us to put it on, let us know. Don't know if
Can't imagine.
there are others. If you go on to Anchor, which we use to upload the podcast on Spotify, it does tell you where people listen. And there's other ones like, I'm sure it's like WordPress or something. I can't remember what it's called, but there's other ones that people do listen to. So if you're one of those weirdos listening on somewhere else, let us know.
Yeah, bro. No, have you got any people from Reddit?
Imagine offense to any weird.
Yeah, what's your Reddit karma? That's what, because karma is a thing on Reddit.
Yeah.
You get upvotes. So give us an upvote on Reddit. Give us some karma.
Yeah, we're not on Reddit, but give us something on there.
So yeah, I feel like that's pretty much a good little pilot episode. Pretty much we'll be going through, like I said, weekly videos of us, or weekly podcasts. So it's just having a chat regarding where we are in prep, what we're doing, clients, questions, and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, ReeceFit, Finn Kelly. We'll have YouTube links, because this is obviously going to be on the Once You're In Your YouTube channel. If you want to listen, like I said, if you're randomly new and you're thinking, oh, this looks cool, if you look on Finn Kelly's channel, Finn Kelly, that sounded weird. If you look on Finn Kelly's channel, if you look on Finn's channel, Finn Kelly, you'll see
the previous 83.
83. So you might be thinking, these guys are really good at talking. I might want to listen to more. We've got 83 episodes, so go back. And then we also have multiple YouTube videos coming with Sam George Media at the helm. He's going to be editing the podcasts, and he's also going to be doing like 2 videos a month. So yeah, content level out to Sam. And I think if general, this is going to be a very good sort of step forward. So yeah, anything you want to...
I am going to leave us upon something. I'm going to leave us on asking for a favour from the listeners and the watchers. So we're going to be coming out with Once You're In clothing.
We should have said this at the start. I feel like maybe we should...
People aren't listening by this point. We'll remind people in the next one.
We'll reel it up We should say to make a reel of it.
Yeah, we'll reel it up. We'll reel it up.
Sam,
Reel it up. That's what we need to start doing. Whenever we think of it, whenever we think something's a good reel, we'll go, Sam, reel it up.
Reel it up.
Yeah, I say that. Reel it up.
Yeah, bro. Reel it up, bro.
So anyway, it sounds like, fishing when you... Is that a reel? Fishing reel, yeah.
Right, we're doing a giveaway.
Anyway, yeah, we're doing a giveaway. So we're going to start some clothing. Once you're in clothing, we're just going to bring out a T-shirt first of all with the new logo. It will just basically be like a standard black oversized T-shirt. We haven't designed it yet or anything, but we're just letting you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick 3 people.
Yeah.
3 people. We're going to pick 3 people.
I think what we'll do 3, but if a lot of people enter,
we'll do 5.
Yeah, we might do 5.
Depends how many people enter.
Exactly.
But for now, we're going to do 3.
Yes.
And basically what you need to do to enter is you need to make sure you're subscribed on YouTube.
We won't be able to check, but we're going to say that.
No, 100% you can check.
Can you check?
Yeah, you can see who's subscribed.
Okay, so you have to subscribe.
You need to make sure that you have given us a rating on Spotify.
Can we check that?
Yeah, they need to.
Yeah.
You need to confirm.
I don't know if we can, but we're
going to confirm that.
Yeah.
You need to tag us in a story from this podcast.
So like either the YouTube video or you watching it or listening to it, just story tag.
Make sure you tag Reece, me, and the podcast Instagram.
Once you're in, putting on it's at once you're in.
Once you're in. Make sure you're following both of us, which hopefully you are anyway. Make sure you're following the YouTube as well, the Instagram as well, TikTok as well.
Yeah, if you want to follow TikTok, guys, we're giving free stuff. So can you just help us out and just follow everything possible? Because like I said, we have 0 subscribers right now because it's a new channel.
Yeah.
And hopefully when you're watching this, you look at the bottom and go, 10 people are subscribed, I'm going to subscribe. And then that goes to 100 and we just start building the...
And then this will just go up and up and up, and that's what we want. So.
Yeah. And then eventually we might be able to
also
afford the flip chart.
Yeah, in all seriousness, like the more that the podcast grows, like we wouldn't be able to do this I don't think we would, to be fair, if the podcast hadn't done as well as it has. No, because the podcast has massively developed our coaching.
Yes, 100%. Our clients that have, I've literally, my newest startup was like, I love the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think,
we get loads of clients that come from the podcast. So, like, obviously we've had to build our way to this. We couldn't imagine when we first started the podcast, let's spend all this money. We'd have been like, what? No chance. Like, so that's because of you guys. So thank you. Because it has helped us get to this level. And in future, like in terms of getting people on the podcast, getting guests on, improving the quality of the audio, improving the quality of all of the content that we bring out, like ultimately it comes down to the podcast growing, which comes down to you people listening and liking and subscribing, etc. So, and recommending it, sharing it with your friends and your family. So we do appreciate it. And we're going to be giving 3 lucky people a free T-shirt. So obviously, once we've had this episode uploaded, once we've had like the week that's gone, so it'll be in that first week, basically, make sure you've tagged us in the story, make sure that you've done everything that we spoke about, and then we'll pick out 3 people or maybe more if we get loads. And then we'll obviously ask you what size you want and things like that, and then we'll get your address, etc., and we'll send them out. And it's also going to kick us up the bum. There we go.
Bum allowed?
Bum's allowed. Bumming's allowed.
Yeah, we like to bum.
You like to bum, yeah?
Yeah.
Bum on the podcast?
Yeah. We're an advocate of bumming.
I'm a massive
advocate of bumming. So yeah, pro bum.
Yeah. See, surely that's worse than saying a swear word. Also going, I'm an advocate of bumming.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, in the Bible, it's not the best, is it?
Is it not?
No, I don't think so. It's not allowed in the Bible.
Does it say that?
Yeah, I think so.
John, chapter 12.
John thesis 8.
Bumming's not great.
Bumming's not great. That's what it would be. But anyway, we're going to leave it there. That's the pilot. Tag us in some stories. And again, as Finn said, like, thank you for the support. And hopefully, like, with the procedures that we're putting in place, like, it results in the podcast growing and getting even better. And then that means we can invest even more.
Yeah.
So that's what we want out of something like this.
One final thing, that you listening and watching now, like, you guys will obviously see what, again, if you look at the last 83 episodes, like, the majority of the content is questions from people watching. So you guys are basically going to produce the podcast in terms of ideas for us, asking us questions. You are the producer of the podcast.
We're so very good podcast.
No, I'm awful. Do you remember that? Yeah, I got told I was awful because I didn't have an opinion on something. Yeah. If you're still watching, that guy, like, he was the one who gave us like a 3-star review and it brought us down. Everyone else giving us 5. Anyway, you are basically the producers. So anything you want to see, any questions you have, any ideas, any guests you want to see, just ask in the comments, drop us a message on Instagram. Yeah, literally, you guys can help us do that.
YouTube, like, filming ideas. We've got, like I said, 2 videos a month that we're going to be doing each. So if it's something away from the standard going to the gym and training back and buys or whatever, then
let us know what you want to see.
Yeah. Awesome. Right. Thank you guys. Thanks for all the support. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.